Yes guys, welcome to a brand new video. My name is Cohnan and today we're going to be going over my 120-day lean bulking transformation. So let's get into it. Now before we do get into it though, I just want to let you guys know that the entire month of November has just been a complete mess. I mean, like, so much went wrong in this month. So I just want to give you guys some context before diving into this lean bulking transformation, because obviously like life happens. Not every single month is going to be perfect in terms of like your nutrition, your training, your health, and just your personal life and stuff like that. So before we do dive into that transformation, I do just want to give you guys some context and like a backstory, just gonna explain to you guys what happened this month. So going into the month of November, everything went really well. My training was on point, my diet was on point, my work life was good, my school life was good, my personal life was good, everything was just on point. Up until, I forget the exact date, but I believe it was the first month of November. I think it was like the 4th or 5th or 6th of November when things started to go downhill. So let me just explain the whole story to you guys. So I'm just gonna say on November 4th was the day I got really sick. So yeah, I woke up one morning, I had a sore throat, I had a cough, I felt really bad. I just had no energy and I just felt miserable. So literally from the 4th until pretty much an entire week after that, so the 4th until, what's 4 plus 7? Until the 11th, I literally did not train at all because I was physically, like, I was sick. And now normally I would train through like a cold or like a flu or something like that when it's not too bad, but this was like pretty bad. Like, I couldn't even get out of bed. I didn't even go to work. Like, that's how bad it was. I was very sick. And not only that, I actually made a video about this, or I included it in one of my videos. And during that time, like literally like 2 days later, while I was still very sick and while I was in a really just bad mood and bad place, my Instagram account got just deleted. Like, it just disappeared. Like, I woke up one morning feeling very miserable, feeling very sick. I opened up my Instagram account and it was gone. And like, being sick plus having your account just disappear, the two and two don't really go hand in hand. Like, that was just arguably one of the worst days of my life. Like, I cried like a baby. Like, I know I make fun of it now, but like literally I was so sad. I was crying because like social media, like it's a big part of my life. It's how I connect with other people. It's how I make most of my money as well. And it's like having that disappear just like one morning is very sad. And so luckily for me, a couple of days later, after doing a bunch of stuff, having to email them, having to send them pictures of like my identity, just a bunch of weird stuff. After a couple of days, I finally did get my Instagram account back. And not only that, I did started to feel a lot better. So after a couple of days, I started to feel better. I got my account back and I started training again. So after not training for 7 days straight, I decided to get tested for the COVID. And yeah, I tested positive. So not only did I not train for 7 days, after that, I got tested positive, which meant that I had to self-isolate for a further 10 days, which meant that I did not go to the gym for 17 days straight. And luckily for me, I did have my own home gym where I could train at. I was very fortunate about that. And so yeah, luckily for me, after those 7 days of feeling sick and not training at all, after those 7 days, I did go back to training, but back to my home gym. And at first I was like, I don't really know how these home workouts are going to be. But honestly, after doing them, like, I actually like fell in love. Like, I was so happy that I had my setup downstairs. I was very limited to the amount of equipment I had, but I very soon realized that that's all you really need. I got a squat rack, I got a bench, I got a barbell, got a couple dumbbells laying around, got a pull-up bar, and that's pretty much all you need. So even though I was limited to the amount of equipment I had, I still had some killer training sessions. And honestly, even up until today, up until now, when like my self-isolation is done, I feel completely healthy. I feel really good. Even now, like, I actually prefer training in my home gym compared to the actual gym. So anyway, long story short, the first kind of like half of November was very bad. Pretty much did not train at all, felt sick. My account got deleted. I was just in a really bad place. The second part of November was a bit better, started training again. I felt a lot healthier, and most importantly, I got my account back. So with that out of the way, now let's finally dive into our 120-day lean bulking transformation. So first I'll compare my older self back when I started this lean bulk 4 months ago up until now, and then also after that I'll compare myself now to where I was 30 days ago. So firstly, I woke up at 144.0 pounds, and when I started this lean bulk I was 135.8 pounds, I believe. So yeah, quickly doing the math here, that's around 10 pounds ish gained after 120 days. Alright, so very quickly compare myself 120 days ago up until now. Obviously there's quite a big change, definitely in terms of size and in terms of body fat as well. I definitely feel like I filled out a lot more 120 days later, which is really, really good. And not only that, like my strength is just so much better. Like my squats, my deadlifts, my bench press, my overhead press, my rows, pull-ups, everything is just a lot better. Feels a lot more smooth. Pumps in the gym are absolutely insane. So yeah, I do think that obviously, as you guys can tell here, I just look like a bigger person. Like it's not a super big change, but I do think that it is quite a noticeable change. And the additional body fat as well. I mean, I was always scared of like gaining too much body fat, especially on this lean bulk, but honestly, like I've just come to accept that having a bit more body fat isn't really a bad thing, because especially now in the winter months, like before when I was really lean like a couple months ago, like I was so cold all the time, like 24/7. I had my hoodie on, my jacket on, I was just shivering the entire time. And I know it sounds really weird, but like having that additional body fat, especially if you're naturally like a lean person, during the winter months actually helps a lot. Like it really, really does. I mean, now I finally understand why animals hibernate during the winter, because like, yeah, you need the extra fats to like pretty much survive. So yeah, definitely extra body fats. Don't be scared to gain body fat. Obviously you don't want to overdo it, but I do think that having that additional body fats, not only does it help you keep warmer, but also it kind of like lubricates your joints, and it just makes you feel a lot stronger. You got kind of like that cushion around you, which is just like it's not a bad thing, especially if you are bulking. Like it's inevitable that you will gain some body fat. And again, you don't want to overdo it, but having that tiny little bit of body fats surrounding your entire body is not a bad thing. My legs, I mean, yeah, it's hard to tell the difference, because obviously 120 days ago I was a lot leaner, so you could kind of like see a bit more detail in terms of like the striations and like just the definition and stuff. Whereas now 120 days later, when I do have a bit more body fat on me, I mean, it's hard to tell. Like obviously, like I think the size is slightly different, but like the definition isn't as close to as it was before. So yeah, again, it's quite hard to tell if I did make any progress size wise in my legs, but definitely strength wise, I mean, I'm a lot stronger than I was 120 days ago. And now before you ask me where the calf transformation is, I actually made the mistake of not showing my calves when I started this transformation, so I decided to just not share it at all. So, I mean, even if I did share them, like, I don't think they grew that much, to be honest, which I know I should really work on that. But yeah, definitely do not get me wrong, I still train them 2 to 3 times a week. And now I really wanted to share this with you guys, my 30-day transformation. So the picture on the left is me today, and the picture on the right was me literally a month ago. So I really wanted to share this transformation with you guys, because even though over the long term, over the course of 120 days, I did make quite a big change, but over the course of 30 days, I don't really think I made that big of a change, because as you guys can see here, I woke up at 144.2 pounds last month, whereas this month I woke up at 144.0 pounds. So we lost 0.2 pounds over the course of a month. So pretty much I went backwards this month. But obviously, like I mentioned in the beginning of today's video, there was so much going on with my personal life, with just everything else, my health. And so I really just wanted to be like as transparent as I can with you guys, and just share with you that not every single month is going to be perfect. You're going to have months that are going to be like just difficult in terms of like your personal life, your health, and just stuff like that. And so even though over the long term, over the course of 120 days, we did make progress, but if you zoom in a little bit and look over the course of just 30 days, we actually did not make any progress. So very quickly, looking over my physique, I mean, I honestly, like, I can't tell that big of a difference. I mean, the lighting does look a bit different, which may be a bit misleading, but I don't think that I make that big of a change. So calorie wise and nutrition wise, nothing much has really changed. I've been trying to eat anywhere from 2,800 to 3,000 calories every single day. I've been doing that pretty consistent. Although with that said though, when I was sick for pretty much like almost like 2 weeks, I didn't really eat much at all. Like I think I averaged around 2,000-ish calories, which obviously is a severe deficit, but I just could not eat. Like, I was not hungry at all. And what was even worse is that my taste went as well, obviously because of the cove. And so like, even if I did eat, like, I didn't really enjoy eating because not only was I not hungry, I couldn't even taste the food I was eating. So it was pretty much just pointless every time I ate. But then again, I knew that I had to just force myself to eat at least something, because otherwise I would just turn into like a tiny little stick. So yeah, I did make sure to eat at least some food, still tried to eat as much protein as I could. But yeah, after those 14-ish days, I went back to my normal diet. So yeah, obviously for the half of this month, my diet wasn't really just like on point, whereas the second half of this month was a bit better. So yeah guys, that's pretty much my entire 120-day lean bulking transformation. So obviously, if you zoom out a little bit, I did make quite a bit of progress over the course of 120 days. However, if you zoom in a little bit and look over the span of just 30 days, I'll be honest with you guys, I probably did not make as much progress. I mean, my strength, after taking a break off the gym while I was sick, my strength did decrease a little bit. So it took me a while to kind of get back to where I used to be. So that wasn't really ideal. And so obviously, like I mentioned earlier, not every single month is going to be perfect. Things are going to get in the way. However, consistency is key. Of course, there's going to be days, weeks, if not months that are going to be bad. But as long as you're consistently eating, training, and recovering properly, it will pay off. So even though this month wasn't the best in terms of like pretty much everything, it's not a big deal, because I know this month and the months following this month are going to be a lot better. So like I said, consistency is key. Even though you had a bad day, a bad week, or a bad month prior, it doesn't mean that you should give up or just stop doing what you're doing, because again, there's always going to be obstacles along the way, and you just gotta like find a way to just kind of like maneuver your way around it, you know? You feel me? Anyway, with that said, if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to go give this video a thumbs up. I would highly appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.
One pro, no lead. Make it easy like 1, 2, 3. Go, on 3, 2, 1. I fly till you can't see me.